Hello, Ken. How about that for an exciting game? This is my immediate reaction. I'm recording this video right after the game. While the emotions were running, while there was the excitement of, how the game played out, I wanted to do a video right away. So before I get into it too much, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell down below. I do greatly appreciate it. So we didn't come out on top. That happens sometimes. I think Michigan and Michigan State proved themselves to be really good teams. I don't want to hear the argument that, it was just, it was a close game, because I don't think either team still hasn't proven anything. I don't think either team is good. No, that's baloney. I believe both these teams are really good teams. And I don't believe we're out of the race yet. If we beat Ohio State and we beat Penn State, anything can happen. Maybe Michigan State loses both of those games at the end of the year. If we win them both, that could jump us right back up into the top of the Big Ten. So, Michigan isn't out of it yet. They still got a lot to play for. But my gosh, it's the same old song and dance, right? Like, we just got out-coached. Again, this is Harbaugh's MO. He can't win the big game, especially big games on the road. He just can't do it. He just can't. So I know everybody for all the Wolverine fans, a lot of Wolverine fans want to defend him. He's one of our own. I get it, but at some point you just got to accept reality, right? Like, this isn't anything new. This is a trend. This is this is what he does. He bottles up in big games. Don't make enough plays, and you make turnovers. You shoot yourself in the foot at the end of the game. This is just who Harbaugh is. So, yeah, he's going to win a lot of games. He's got a over 70% win ratio, but he can't win the big ones. And I don't think Michigan brought him in with the intention of just beating up on the low end of the Big Ten and not winning anything, right? That's not why they brought him in. So he's proven again he can't get it done. COVID was a weird year, which is, I think, Michigan brought him back. I expect that after this game, I will give Harbaugh one chance to save himself. Just me on the outside, not me personally, but me on the outside, kind of seeing the situation in Ann Arbor. I think he has a chance to save himself if he beats Ohio State. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But I think there is a chance. I think that's the only way he saves himself. His record against rivals isn't good enough. His record against top teams not good enough. It's not why Michigan brought him in. So, yeah, I think he will be done at the end of the year. I really do, unless he has some sort of miracle victory over Ohio State, which I don't see that happening. You think Michigan State was tough to play against. I still believe Ohio State's the best team. I think Michigan State's close. I think Michigan State's close to one of the – I've said that before. If you've seen any of my Michigan State videos, I said there's no reason why the Spartans can't win it all this year in the Big Ten. But I think Ohio State's still the cream of the crop. I think they're still the best team, and they're only getting better every week. So I don't expect Harbaugh to be able to pull off a victory in that game. Again, it's going to be another highly ranked team, so it's just not going to happen. Harbaugh can't do it. I don't know what happened, but maybe he was just overvalued. Whatever. I do think he's a good coach. I'm not trying to crap all over him. I do think he's a very good coach, but the fact remains that he's not getting it done at Michigan. He's just not. So it's time to make a change. It's just time. And I know some people want to say, well, who can you get that's better? Well, I don't know. Anybody right now. Anybody, Anybody that can win a big game would be better than Harbaugh right now. I'm not going to throw out names. There's lots of names out there. You got Campbell at Iowa State. You got Fickle at Cincinnati. You got Bob Stoops. Maybe you could lure him back. He did coach in the XFL, so I don't think he wants to come back to the college grind, but I would feel him out and ask him. There are options out there. There are guys who are looking for a chance to prove themselves, and give them a chance. Why not? But if what you have right now isn't working, then literally anything else is better, because you already know what you have isn't working. Yeah, there's a chance that somebody could come in and then Michigan will start to decline again, but so what? Alabama went through a lot of rough years before they found Nick Saban. That doesn't mean they should have given up, right? Well, if they would have said, we're just bad and we're never going to find anybody, they never would have come across Nick Saban. So I think you make the change. I really do. For whatever reason, Harbaugh isn't getting it done. I do like Harbaugh. It's just not working. So it's time to make a change. We got out-coached defensively. How are you going to keep trying to sub, man? Mike McDonald. This is where you saw Mike Macdonald coming from the NFL. I think hurt him a little bit. You know, it's a little bit different in the NFL. But you have to understand, like early on, I understand getting caught, you know, trying to sub guys and whatever. And I understand that's what you want to do. But Michigan State isn't going to allow you to do that. And they're smart for not allowing you to do that. And how you keep getting penalties in the second half is beyond me. You got to make those adjustments. You just have to. I felt like Macdonald didn't bring enough pressure. You know, Peyton Thorne is not very good when he's under pressure. He's just not. If you're going to get Peyton Thorne off his game, you have to get in his face. And Mike Macdonald relied too much on his front guys, you know, Aiden Hutchinson and Ajabo late in this game. He's got to understand that when Michigan State's running hurry up, Hutchinson and Ajabo are going to get tired by the end of this game. They're not allowing you to sub like you normally do. They're running through plays really quick. They're not allowing these guys to get a breather. And so you have to help them out. You have to bring some pressure. You have to bring some blitzes, and we just didn't see much of that. We didn't see enough of it. So, yeah, we got out-coached. It's that simple. We made some mistakes at the end of the game. J.J. McCarthy, that fumble was huge, right? You know, it happens. He's a young guy. I still think J.J. McCarthy should be your starter. If Cade McNamara can hit a deep ball, this game isn't even close at the end because Michigan State was giving Michigan those deep balls all game, and Cade McNamara couldn't hit his guys. Yes, he had a couple nice ones, but my God, they left a lot of points on the field because he can't make that throw, and everybody knows it. You want to know why our run game didn't get going today? Because Michigan State wasn't worried about McNamara throwing the deep ball. They just weren't. So J.J. McCarthy should be your starter. I don't like the situation they put him in. I said this going into the bye week a couple weeks ago. Do not play J.J. McCarthy a lot against Michigan State if you weren't going to let him play a lot against Northwestern. He got maybe a handful of snaps against Northwestern. They tried to use him more today. You're not putting him in a good position. You're really not. I felt like he should have been made the starter coming into the bye week. He would have got his feet wet against Northwestern. And then who knows? Maybe this thing plays out different. Maybe we get blown out. Maybe. I don't know. You know, Cade McNamara played a fine game. But I literally, I got some Michigan State friends. I got Michigan and Michigan State friends. I sent a text out literally right before Cade McNamara threw that interception to end the game. I said, Cade McNamara, this is where Cade McNamara is going to cost him the game. This is not a quarterback that you can just put it on his arm and expect him to lead your team down the field and win. He's not that guy. He's not. He's not. Stop thinking he is. The only thing that he got was what Michigan State was giving him. And then when they got into the red zone, what happened? Had to settle for field goals. That's exactly what Michigan State wants you to do. He had great numbers and looked good because Michigan State was playing bend, don't break defense. So I don't want to hear about how, you know, McNamara should definitely be the guy moving forward. I didn't see that at all. I felt like J.J. McCarthy still gives you the best chance to win the game because he's the only guy that you've got right now that's shown he can throw a deep ball when it's one-on-one coverage. That jump ball to Andrell Anthony, you know, he's putting balls in places where only his guys can make plays, and he's trusting his guys to make those plays. Cade McNamara is just chucking the ball out of bounds. He's not even giving his guys an opportunity to go and get it. So, yeah, I know it's easy to look at what the stats and what happened on paper and be like, oh, yeah, Cade McNamara should be the starter. Clearly, I disagree with that 100%. J.J. McCarthy still gives you the best chance to win games. He's a more dynamic athlete. He's a better passer. Yes, he's going to have some freshman mistakes. It's part of learning. But, yeah, I think J.J. McCarthy should still be the guy. But, you know, I picked Michigan State to win by 3. That's how things played out. I'm not overly surprised by the outcome. These are games where Harbaugh really struggles, so I was definitely going with Michigan State at home. No doubt about it. But, yeah, I've been saying a lot of bad things about the officiating in the Big Ten. But in this one, I actually think the officiating was pretty solid. Not a lot to complain about. The only thing I'm going to point to is the Michigan defensive touchdown that was overturned. I felt like that was a bad review, and like the announcers said, they went back and over-officiated it. There was no clear look at the football, so to overturn, I don't understand how they overturned what happened on the field. You could make some arguments about the other things that they reviewed in this game and that some things that maybe could have been overturned this way or that way. But honestly, I didn't feel like there was a good look on a lot of those reviews, so I was fine with them staying what was called on the field. Right? I was fine with that. No problem with that. Should have also been the case on the Michigan defensive touchdown. don't mistake that as me saying that Michigan would have then won the game. You know, that was in the first half. You know, it was going right before halftime. It did cost Michigan the 4 points, which is what Michigan State won by. However, a lot of things can change in the second half. So I'm not trying to say that, oh, if the refs didn't steal that from Michigan, then Michigan would have won. No, not what I'm saying at all. And that's disrespectful to Michigan State. Michigan State came out, played their heart out, wanted it more, and got the win. Respect that. I wish Michigan would play like that. I really do. And they haven't. The whole time Harbaugh's been there, and that's why they lose these big games. Just calling it like I see it. The only thing that pisses me off about that play call, if everything else would have played out the same, and I don't think it would have. A lot of things, football's weird where, you know, changing that, it's easy to look at that and go, oh, if Michigan would have got those 4 points, if the refs would have stuck with the call on the field like they should have, the game would have been tied and it's going to overtime. Not necessarily. You know, the play calling changes based on the scores. A lot of things can change. You got an entire second half of football. So don't mistake me as saying that, you know, this is me saying, oh, Michigan would have won. Not what I'm saying at all. Not what I'm saying at all. It was a questionable call. I only mention it because I've been crapping all over the Big Ten officials, and rightfully so, early in the year. But I also wanted to highlight when I felt like they called a good game. And honestly, I felt like this was a pretty solid game. I don't have any major complaints other than that one review where they overturned it, where I didn't think there was enough on field, enough on video to really overturn that call. So Thorne might have had the ball when he went down. I just think they should have stayed with the call on the field. But what pisses me off about it the most is if they would have stuck with the call on the field and if everything else would have played out the same, we would have got overtime on an amazing game. If there was a chance to extend this game and go into overtime, man, that would have been amazing. This was an exciting game. It's everything I love to see out of a rivalry. I do Michigan State and Michigan videos. I do follow both teams. But, you know, this is what you want to see out of a rivalry game. This was exciting. This was fun. It was back and forth. And it was a great look. I feel like it was a great look nationally for both teams, right? What high school kid sitting at home on their couch watching this game isn't going to want to go, wow, what an atmosphere. You know, you got College Game Day there. It's Fox Noon game. It's electric. The fans are there. They're loud. It's a huge game. It's a rivalry. Both teams ranked in the top 10. Who doesn't want to play in a situation like that? So I think it was a good look for both teams nationally. You know, it was but ultimately in the end, it was the same old song and dance. Harbaugh can't get the job done. It's time to make a change. He was outcoached again in a big game, and I expect more of the same. You know, Michigan's season isn't over, but at the same time, after watching this game and seeing Michigan's play calling and the adjustments they did or did not make at halftime, I have a hard time seeing them beat Ohio State. Penn State, maybe, but that's in Penn State, so I still don't see it. But you never know. I'll address those games as we move forward. But Michigan's going to need to bounce back quickly because they got Indiana next, and they're no joke either. If you fall asleep, then the Hoosiers will make you pay. So it's back at it, back to the grind. You know, we dropped this one. It was it felt way too familiar. Michigan, Ward Manual, you need to pull the trigger. You used COVID as an excuse to give Harbaugh another year. There's no more excuses now. It's time. He can't get the job done. He hasn't gotten the job done, so it's time for a change. That's all I got on this one. Much respect to the Spartans and the Wolverines. I felt like both teams played great. It was a good game. It was entertaining to watch. If you take your fandom out of it, right, and the disappointment of Michigan losing, I think that if you look at it with an analytical eye, which I try to do, you know, if you look at it from I don't want to say fan. If you look at it with a entertainment perspective, if you just want an entertainment or a great game, that's what we got. So respect to both teams. It was a hard-fought battle. It was a good game. It was fun to watch, and that's all I got on this one. So remember, all love, all the time. Peace.